The Wonderful Winter of Mickey is a new show to Disney Plus. I feel like they've left it a little late in the game to upload it since we are slowly starting to head towards spring. But that aside, I was very keen to watch this. As I've mentioned before, I'm really not the biggest fan of this contemporary style of Mickey Mouse and Friends. I don't really like the animation, but sometimes the stories are quite fun. I still think New York Weenie is one of my favourites with the new Mickey Mouse style. So I decided to watch this, and it's actually a trilogy of short films, each one with a wintry theme. And I'll talk a little bit about them. I won't give any spoilers for how each of the three concludes, but what I will say is the first one I didn't like, the second one I thought was pretty fun, the third one I actually thought was really sweet, beautifully edited, and quite visually very appealing. So it definitely got better as they went on. So the first one starts off with Mickey, and I still can't quite establish what his job is, but he works for a company that's in charge of the weather and making snow, and he's not part of the snowflake team, but he really wants to make a snowflake. But if he endeavours to do this, chances are it's going to go horribly wrong, particularly if he is unsupervised. I won't say what happens, but I will say I didn't really find it appealing. I didn't really understand the point of it. I did like the basket of kittens, which will make sense when you watch it. I found the kittens and the whole mention of the lottery and things to just be very amusing. The animation style of the snowflakes, the various different kinds, but the main one I thought was interesting. I liked that. It's just the animation style of Mickey Mouse himself that I find really weird. So the first one, I don't really have that much to say in terms of being positive, unfortunately. The second one was not so bad. Mickey, Donald, and Goofy go off to a cabin. They're having a winter break, but they get there, and when they shut the door to the cabin, there is an avalanche, and they are stuck inside, and their car with all of their belongings is on the other side of the avalanche. So they have to try and figure out what to do. And I like this one particularly because it involved Donald. Big fan of Donald Duck. I really like Donald Duck a lot. I don't mind too much this contemporary version of Donald Duck, whereas the Goofy one I think is actually quite scary. The design of Goofy I just can't get on board with. But the narrative itself I actually kind of liked. I liked seeing how they problem solved and overreacted in certain situations. Usually when Goofy, Mickey, and Donald are together and trying to solve a problem, they all do it independently and have very different ideas of how to go about the situation. That definitely came across here. I thought it was good fun. It kind of felt a bit more like one of the classic shorts. I'm a big fan of the kind of 30s, 40s Donald, Mickey, Goofy shorts. They're always really good fun, and that's absolutely the case here. And the animation style wasn't too bad. The third one involves Minnie and Mickey, and they are ice skating. And I didn't actually mind the animation of Mickey here too much because he's actually in like an ice skating costume, so he looks different to the classic Mickey anyway. His head still looks a bit weird, but because they're ice skating, I was more focused on their movements and the fluidity of that and the editing of the animation, and it was beautiful, really beautiful. It did feel a little bit like old Mickey. If you watch some of the, say, 1920s Mickey Mouse cartoons, he's very dismissive of Minnie and is very possessive of her. There is a scene very early on in this clip where Mickey wants to do ice skating again, and Minnie says that she has sore feet and kind of doesn't want to, but Mickey kind of makes her do it. And it kind of harks back to that early day when Mickey Mouse was very possessive of her. But it was still beautiful to watch. I think the colour choices were fabulous. It was elegant, it was pleasing. I definitely think it's the strongest of the three. In terms of narrative, I preferred the middle one. But visually, it was beautiful, very compelling, and very easy to watch. So while The Wonderful Winter of Mickey may not be perfect, if you're a fan of Mickey and Friends, I'd say it's definitely worth a watch. Give the first one a watch and see what you think of it. But for me personally, if I ever decide to watch it again, I might give the first one a second chance again, but chances are I will skip ahead. Certainly, it's not a bad collection of shorts, and I'm very happy to recommend it.